Africa is home to some of the world's fastest growing economies, with most of its wealth gotten from the private sector through primary extraction activities. The total private wealth held in the African continent currently stands at $2.1 trillion US, according to the latest 2022 Africa Wealth Report published by Henley and Partners. There are currently 136,000 high net worth individuals with a private wealth of $1 million or more living in Africa, along with 305 centi-millionaires worth $100 million or more and 21 billionaires. Private wealth refers to all of an individual's net assets, and that includes things like property, cash, equities, and business interests. Most of Africa's richest companies and individuals with large market capitalization and net worth have their bases in these 5 countries you're about to find out, and others. Africa's wealth is not only measured in financial terms, but also in her natural and socio-geographic potentials, such as coal, petroleum, chemicals, wood, metals, and minerals, amongst others. Despite Africa's lag in competition with other continents, her wealth is significant enough for evident development. There are 5 countries that account for more than 50% of Africa's wealth, according to Henley's publication. Strong growth in private wealth of over 50% is also predicted in these 5 countries in the next 10 years. As you watch this video, you will get to know recent developments on the top 5 countries that account for over 50% of Africa's wealth, according to the 2022 Africa Wealth Report. But before we get into the video, you can help our channel grow by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our updates. With that out of the way, let's get started. 5. Kenya, $91 billion. At the bottom of the list is Kenya, which accounts for $91 billion of the total private wealth held in Africa. Situated in East Africa near the coastline of the Indian Ocean, Kenya has a population of more than 54 million inhabitants, with a GDP of $110.4 billion as of 2022. Economically, Kenya is East Africa's largest and most important business, financial, and transportation hub. The country is well known for its vast landscape and wildlife, with stable living conditions and an established coffee and tea sector. Its rapidly growing agricultural sector is the wealthiest in Southeast and Central Africa. Over the years, its coastline has become an arena for numerous strategic ports for Asian and Arabian traders over the years. Interestingly, unlike other less developed countries, Kenya doesn't get her income mainly from the oil sector. Rather, the country engages in strong and positive investments, building a vibrant service sector and other lucrative businesses. In 2019, the nation emerged as one of the fastest-growing economies in sub-Saharan Africa. All these investments and activities bring about a 4.6% real GDP to the country. Moi and family are the wealthiest in the country. They had invested in several companies across the country, which has yielded a net worth of about $3 billion. A significant percentage of their wealth is sensible in developing the country. Kenya's agricultural sector has contributed a lot to its GDP, with coffee, tea, and maize as the main crops produced. This has fostered exportation, and the country has also experienced tourism and fast financial growth in previous years. Next up. 4. Morocco, $125 billion. With a GDP of over $132.7 billion US, Morocco comes fourth on this list of countries that account for more than 50% of Africa's wealth. It accounts for $125 billion of Africa's total private wealth. Morocco is a North African country bordering the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. It spans an area of 446,300 square kilometers, with a population of more than 37 million. The economy of this nation in North Africa is versatile and stable and has experienced growth in several industries over the last decade. It is the second largest non-oil producing African country. Morocco is home to one of the richest black people in the world, as is Akinouch, with a net worth of $1.9 billion, a net worth he acquired from the oil and gas sector. Morocco's economy is mainly driven by mining and manufacturing, although 55% of its economic growth is derived from the tertiary sector. This is supplemented by the tourism sector, with locals being welcoming to tourists and the government placing much emphasis on attracting visitors to its enticing tourism sites. Interestingly, Morocco is the third largest producer of phosphorus in the world and has greatly benefited from this. The country has gained much income from its diverse exportation of goods such as inorganic chemicals, crude minerals, fertilizers, petroleum products, fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting electrical equipment and vehicle parts. If you're enjoying this video so far, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to also ring that bell so you'll be notified when next we upload a video like this. 3. Nigeria. $228 billion. Nigeria is the third country that accounts for more than 50% of Africa's wealth, with a total of $228 billion held in private wealth. It's geographically situated between the Sahel to the north and the Gulf of Guinea to the south in the Atlantic Ocean. The country covers an area of 923,967 square kilometers, with a population of over 218 million inhabitants spread over 36 states. With a GDP of over $440 billion, Nigeria is the 12th largest producer of petroleum in the world and the 8th largest exporter. Oil production is the main economic activity in Nigeria, with the country boasting 159 oil fields, with the Niger Delta Basin being the most productive. Its supply of natural gas to Europe has been recently threatened by the Ukraine war. This has pushed the Nigerian natural gas pipelines to Morocco and Algeria since May 2022. Nigeria records roughly 1.6 million barrels of crude oil a day, according to the Organization of Petroleum Exploiting Countries, OPEC. These petroleum exports make up 10% of the country's total GDP and over 80% of the export sector revenue. In addition to petroleum, Nigeria has an abundance of raw materials and natural resources, contributing to the region's wealth. These include resources like coal, limestone, zinc, lead, tin natural gas, niobium, and iron ore. The country is also home to Africa's richest person, Aliko Dangote, who owns and runs one of Nigeria's biggest companies, the Dangote Group. His cement factory yields much profit, which has, in turn, contributed to about 20% of the country's total market capitalization. Known for its vibrant cultural heritage, different ethnicities, natural splendor, and large population, Nigeria remains one of the best in terms of GDP output on the African continent. 2. Egypt. $307 billion. Second on the list of countries that account for more than 50% of Africa's wealth is Egypt, located in the northeastern corner of Africa. The country holds $307 billion of the total private wealth held on the continent. Egypt is the 12th most populated country in the world, with a population of over 100 million inhabitants, according to World Bank data. The country has one of the longest history of any country, tracing its origin as far back as the 4th millennium. This far-searching fact will partly account for her appearance among the most advanced countries on the African continent. With an estimated GDP of over $404 billion, Egypt's economy depends mainly on agriculture, media, petroleum products, natural gas, and tourism. The country has developed an energy market based on coal, oil, hydropower, and natural gas. The economic condition of Egypt has improved progressively after a period of stagnation, due to more liberal policies that have been adopted by its government. The result, Egypt has seen improved revenues from tourism and improved stock exchange earnings. Another factor contributing to such a name for Egypt is the fact that its nationals abroad contribute enormously for the development of the primary sector. Remittances and money earned and sent by Egyptians living in foreign countries between 2009 and 2022 to their homeland are worth trillions, according to the World Bank. As of June 2022, Nassef Sawiris is the wealthiest person in Egypt. The popular business tycoon has a net worth of $3.4 billion, with his construction and investment activities contributing roughly 6% of the country's GDP. Other lucrative sectors of Egypt's economy include tourism, energy, transport, water supply, and sanitation, amongst others. However, Egypt could face some socioeconomic challenges due to a large percentage of people living below the poverty line, unemployment, a weak healthcare system, and a global slowdown in economic activities. It's time to find out which African country contributes most to Africa's wealth. 1. South Africa. $651 billion. Finally, South Africa tops the list of countries that account for more than 50% of Africa's wealth. The country accounts for $651 billion of the total private wealth held in Africa. South Africa is multiracial and the most populated country south of the equator. It has 3 capital cities, Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Cape Town, with a population of over 60 million people who speak 11 different languages. The country is well known worldwide for its great socioeconomic and multicultural potential capacities. This nation covers 1,221,037 square kilometers of land and has a total GDP of $419 billion US. South Africa has a mixed economy, the second largest in Africa after Nigeria. Only 15% of South African jobs are in the informal sector compared to that of other African countries. Despite her position as the first country that accounts for most of Africa's wealth, South Africa still faces relatively high poverty and unemployment rates and is ranked in the world's top 10 countries with income inequalities. This can be explained by the population that depends mainly on the formal sector for a living. South Africa is a hotspot for mining. Diamond and gold are produced in the country in reasonable amounts, making it a cornucopia of mineral riches ranked 5th at the world level. Scientific developments such as heart transplants and crystallographic electron microscopy first took root in South Africa. With this, the country boasts of a powerful science breed. The country is also home to the richest black person of African origin and in the world, Elon Musk, with many other African billionaires coming from South Africa. The Naspers media conglomerate, which is the richest company in Africa, also has its headquarters in South Africa. All these add up to the strong economic fief of the nation. There you have it. The 5 nations that account for more than 50% of Africa's wealth. We hope you've learned something new or have added meaning to what you already know about the African continent. Did you know Africa holds approximately 30% of the world's mineral reserves? The largest reserves of diamonds, cobalt, uranium, and platinum are in Africa. The continent also has over 65% of the world's arable land and 10% of renewable freshwater resources. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.